The ghost stopped at a certain warehouse door and asked Scrooge if he knew it. Know it, said Scrooge. Was I apprenticed here? They went in. At sight of an old gentleman in a Welsh wig, sitting behind such a high desk, that if he'd been 2 inches taller, he must have knocked his head against the ceiling, Scrooge cried in great excitement, "Why, it's old Fessiwig! Bless his heart, it's Fessiwig alive again!" Old Fessiwig laid down his pen and looked up at the clock, which pointed the hour of 7. He rubbed his hands, adjusted his capacious waistcoat, laughed all over himself, down from his shoes to his organ of benevolence, and called out in a comfortable, oily, rich, fat, jovial voice, "Yo-ho there, Ebenezer! Dick!" Scrooge's former self, now grown a young man, came briskly in, accompanied by his fellow apprentice. "Dick Wilkins, to be sure," said Scrooge to the ghost. "Bless me, there he is. You were very much attached to me, was Dick. Poor Dick. Dear, dear." "Yo-ho, my boy," said Fessiwig. "No more work tonight. Christmas Eve, Dick. Christmas, Ebenezer. Let's have the shutters up," cried old Fessiwig with a sharp clap of his hands, before a man can say Jack Robinson. "Hilly-ho," cried old Fessiwig, skipping down from the high desk with wonderful agility. "Clear away, my lads, and let's have lots of room here. Hilly-ho, Dick. Cheer up, Ebenezer." Clear away? There was nothing they wouldn't have cleared away, or couldn't have cleared away, with old Fessiwig looking on. In came a fiddle with a music book, and went up to the lofty desk, and made an orchestra of it, and tuned like 50 stomachaches. In came Mrs. Fessiwig, one vast, substantial smile. In came the 3 Miss Fessiwigs, beaming and lovable. In came the 6 young followers, whose hearts they broke. In came all the young men and women employed in the business. Away they all went, 20 couple at once, hands half round and back again the other way. Old top couple always turning up in the wrong place. New top couple starting off again as soon as they got there. All top couples at last, and not a bottom one to help them. When this result was brought about, old Fessiwig, clapping his hands to stop the dance, cried out, "Well done!" And the fiddler plunged his hot face into a pot of porter especially provided for that purpose. But scorning rest upon his reappearance, he instantly began again, though there were no dancers yet, as if the other fiddler had been carried home exhausted on a shutter, and he were a brand new man, resolved to beat him out of sight, or perish. But the great effect of the evening came after the roast and boiled, when the fiddler, an artful dog mind, the sort of man who knew his business better than you or I could have told it him, struck up Sir Roger de Coverley. Then old Fessiwig stood out to dance with Mrs. Fessiwig. Top couple too, with a good stiff piece of work cut out for them. 3 or 4 and 20 pair of partners, people who are not to be trifled with, people who would dance and had no notion of walking. But if they'd been twice as many, 4 times, old Fessiwig would have been a match for them, and so would Mrs. Fessiwig. As to her, she was worthy to be his partner in every sense of the term. If that's not high praise, tell me higher, and I'll use it. A positive light appeared to issue from Fessiwig's calves. They shone in every part of the dance like moons. You couldn't have predicted at any given time what would become of them next. And when old Fessiwig and Mrs. Fessiwig had gone all through the dance, advance and retire, both hands to your partner, bow and curtsy, corkscrew, thread the needle, and back again to your place, Fessiwig cut so deftly that he appeared to wink with his legs, and came upon his feet again without a stagger. When the clock struck 11, this domestic ball broke up. Mr. and Mrs. Fessiwig took their stations, one on either side of the door, and shaking hands with every person individually as he or she went out, wished him or her a Merry Christmas.